Hi, I'm Bill Wilson, Head of Data and Intelligence Solutions at NTT Data in the UK. This is a short video to take you through the highlights of the Civil Service Data Survey that NTT Data sponsored at the back end of 2020. I spent more than half of my professional career working alongside civil servants, trying to collect the right data, govern it properly, and exploit it in the service of our country. I blogged recently about NTT Data's response to the National Data Strategy, but this survey was all about listening to the civil service. And plenty of civil servants wanted to be heard. Almost 350 responded, which is enough for our findings to be statistically significant. And when we're talking about data-driven decision-making, that's always a good starting point. Let's look first at the distribution of those who responded. The first thing to say is that we heard disproportionately from the leaders in the civil service. 48% of the respondents were drawn from the top 13% of the civil service in terms of seniority. This shows that there's interest in data challenges and opportunities at a senior level. This wasn't a survey of those setting the agenda in central government either. Only 3% of respondents worked at the Treasury or the Cabinet Office. And only 5% of staff were working in digital data and technology roles. So the bulk of respondents were in operational delivery, policy and project delivery in the major departments of state. Our survey didn't just reach those with a specialist interest. Maybe data and analytics is finally becoming a good topic of conversation at dinner parties. Well, I can hope. Let's see what our survey said, to borrow a catchphrase from the great Les Dennis. Now, it'd be surprising in a self-selecting survey about data if there was poor support for the question, how important is this agenda? But 93% of respondents chose very important or absolutely essential. What's more interesting is the goals they had in making better use of data. Respondents could choose from up to 3. Their priorities differed depending on their job role, but overall, the top goals were as follows. Collating and analysing data to support evidence-based policy making, using data to target services at the point of greatest need, improving impact and reducing waste, providing a single point of access to multiple public services and supporting data sharing between them, assessing the impact of public spending and services, supporting better evaluation of policies and services. This split nicely shows the balance of priorities for using data in supporting 2 broad areas: policy development and improving the operational effectiveness and efficiency of public services. For more junior members of staff, using data to personalise the delivery of services and identifying fraud, error and waste were also critical priorities. And those working in project delivery roles were naturally more interested in producing stronger management information to aid oversight in fields such as spending, staff management and logistics. The next set of questions revolved around individual levels of departmental maturity, with a question around whether the department had a published data strategy, and another about the levels of departmental capability in 4 broad areas. Overall, only 40% of respondents were certain there was a published data strategy. Now, I know the prevalence of data strategy is higher than that, which suggests that us as data professionals need to be better at communicating our message across government. Of the 4 capability areas, active data governance was seen as the furthest ahead, with only 16% of respondents suggesting there was no activity in this field. Progress with a data management framework providing visibility on datasets' quality, provenance and handling scored similarly. The use of common standards governing language, definitions and formats permitting the sharing, linking and comparison of datasets was comparatively immature, with just over 40% of those questions stating that progress was at an early stage or non-existent. Technology was the weakest area, with less than half of the respondents suggesting even a firm plan for a widely available data management platform. By this we mean a platform that could allow for self-service access to and analysis of departmental and government data. 12% of respondents worked at HMRC, and the maturity of their capability was felt to be better. This puts the current levels of maturity in other government departments even lower than the averages presented here. These results suggest that civil servants are realistic about how far there is still to go in the use of data, both for policy purposes and for frontline service delivery. Looking forward, civil servants were asked to consider which activities to accelerate to realise the potential of data. Again, 3 out of 7 options could be chosen. There was a more diverse set of opinions than on other questions, but 55% supported strong and visible leadership on data, supported by an active data strategy. And second was introducing common standards governing language, definitions and formats, permitting the sharing and comparison of datasets. The third most popular also related closely to good data management practice, establishing a data management framework providing visibility on datasets' quality, provenance and handling. And in fourth place was increasing the size and developing the skills of your permanent digital and data workforce. This provides a clear set of imperatives. In our own response to the National Data Strategy consultation, we had already identified leadership and culture as the number one issue to address. So it's great to find some common ground and to have so many civil service leaders be part of the events we're arranging around the launch of our survey. The final set of questions were around the role of central government in promoting better use of data, and 13 suggestions were open to respondents. The first finding is strong support for central action, which kind of makes sense when you consider that good data sharing and technical integration starts with common standards, formats and governance. These are all things that are born out of centralisation. Indeed, 53% of those surveyed backed greater levers for the centre. In this part of the survey, the skills issue was raised once again, with 80% of respondents backing the establishment of better training and professional development for data professionals. A cross-government data platform was mentioned, once again highlighting the need for effective technology solutions. The next 4 priorities for central action were as follows: legislative changes to support more data sharing across government, the creation of data standards for use by departments, along with a framework requiring their application to new and key data sets. More clarity and communication concerning the legislative constraints on cross-departmental data sharing. More public communications work to explain and demonstrate how improved government use of data could improve citizens' lives. The more effective the integrated data platform for government becomes, the more important it will be for government to address the last priority shown here, that of explaining to a sometimes sceptical public why linking data sets is essential. All the answers you see here are themes from the National Data Strategy, validating the focus areas for that publication. Well, that's all I've got time to cover. There's a lot more depth to our report. If you wish, you can download a PDF of the report, or better still, analyse the data for yourself. We want to practice what we preach on open data, so we're publishing the results using the Web CSV standard as promoted by the Data Standards Authority. This makes it easy to play with in a tool like Excel or something more advanced. I hope you have as much fun analysing the data as I did.